Okay, so the first poem is called Choose Wisely. And this one is a simple narrative structure that's 4 lines, and the second and the fourth line, the last word of those two rhyme, and it's a form of self-expression. So choose wisely. Why do you think it will be okay? Because thinking so takes your anxiety away. How do you know it won't happen to you? Because knowing so is all you can do. What makes you certain it won't be a bad day? Because you get down on your knees and pray. You don't even believe in the power of positive thought. If it was someone else, you'd say their methods wrought. That they are just as likely as another to undergo pain, loss, and yes, to suffer. Yet for you, you permit yourself this one kind of fiction, because it allows yourself to function with renewed conviction. But what happens when the charms and mind games fail? What will happen when life causes you to wail? Don't you go thinking that words are lies, that the message here is something to despise. It's merely a warning to get your house in order, because eventually life will throw it into disorder. Look up the numbers, apply them to your life. Statistically speaking, you'll go through similar strife. But it doesn't feel this way. You are somehow special. That's just your ego talking with the words of the devil. You will reap what you sow. You'll get what you deserve. The actions you take now dictate what life will serve. Look at your past and trace life back. What you did then put you on this track. So choose wisely. So the background sort of feeling that I was feeling at the time of writing this was bad stuff was happening, and I felt myself wishing that I had more faith, wishing that I had a religious conviction that I could fall upon and believe. And then it was like the other part of me was looking at that going, yeah, but if you were to do that, you'd be living inherently in contradiction, because when you see other people doing that, it doesn't make sense to you. You know, talking about this idea of wanting to get down and pray and have that positive thought, because that's all I can do. That's all I felt that I could do at the time. And I had that desire, yet I equally saw at the same time that were I to see someone else doing that, it wouldn't make sense to me. It would seem like they're just trying to trick themselves. It would seem that, you know, and like I address that later, what would happen when the mind games fail? What would happen when those prayers don't work? Then what are you left with? So I was sort of in this dark space of going, bad stuff's happening. I want something to fix it. I want hope. I want faith. I want, you know, something to come. And if it did work, what happens when that failed? Would I have that renewed conviction? So I was trying to express that sort of mess of feelings onto the page. Now, I should say, when I'm writing these poems, and I'll put a link down below to all the poems so you can read this one as I'm going. When I was writing that, I didn't choose the structure. It sort of, I had this idea, and then it sort of came to me that I wanted to do it in that simple rhyme structure. Why do you think it'll be okay? Because thinking so takes your anxiety away. Very simple. And I decided to just write it in that format. Now, how did I practically do this? I wrote down, just got it generally down on the page, and rather than going for the rhymes straight up, sometimes they come straight up. Sometimes it's just the thoughts and the feelings. And then I'm like, okay, well, I want a word that rhymes with okay, that suggests getting rid of something. And I might just write it down, and then when I'm thinking about that, as I come back to it, as I've written the whole poem, I might come back to it, it's like, okay, I need a word that rhymes with okay here. And then I'll substitute away in. Those two words rhyme. Or if I couldn't figure that out, I might change it will be okay. I could change it will be okay to being what makes you think it will be fine. And now the last word has to rhyme with fine. Does that sort of make sense? That I'll get the idea and the expression down, then I'll come up with the type of structure I want the poem to have, then I'll play with the words particularly. Now, sometimes the poem just comes. Sometimes I'm playing with the words. Sometimes the structure comes. Sometimes I'm going, oh, I want to put this thought into this structure. But for this poem, I was feeling all of those chaotic thoughts. I wanted to express it out, and then I wrote it down. So like I said, click the link and you can actually read the poem and follow along. Replay this video if you need to watch as I'm saying it, to read through, or just read through it yourself. and have a little go at that style, simple rhyming structure. Now, obviously this poem goes for quite a while. You could just do the first 4 lines. That's a good start, right? You don't have to get it to any level of standard.